You know what it is. This your boy Town Biz back at it once again. All right, so man, I was just chilling, man, just chilling, relaxing, man. Like one thing about me, when you do the type of work that I do, when you work in the food industry, man, you work these old screwball hours, so your sleep pattern is just all the way messed up. So I'm in and out of sleep. So I wanted to put together some videos. You know, just wanted to put together some videos. Like I said, I said I was gonna start using this channel more often. You know, and plus I had a conversation with some people earlier today. It went very well, and about some decisions and stuff that I'm gonna be making forthcoming. The future of my channel, the future of me, what I'm gonna do. So like I said, I got some announcements coming up, like just in a little bit. I thought long and hard about it, so it's some decisions coming up concerning me, pertaining to me, that I'm gonna do. And at the end of the day, I got to do what's best for me. I got to do what's best for my channel. And I got to do what's best and what I believe in for the people that follow my channel and listen to me. You can have a difference of opinion, but at the end of the day, you need to respect somebody's opinion. And I think that's been the problem about a lot of different subjects. One thing about me, I will not tolerate being disrespected. Because at the end of the day, it's easy for people to talk greasy when they ain't standing in front of you. But, at the end of the day, like I said, I got some decisions coming up that I'm gonna make, some announcements. And then some stuff that I feel like I gotta talk about with y'all, because I feel like I'm gonna let y'all decide, as well as I'm gonna let y'all decide. What better way to discuss some things to let y'all decide, the people that follow my channel, so people don't say that I'm being harsh and all that kind of stuff. So what better way? I'm gonna let you guys decide, or at least speak on, was speak on my situation, and you know tell me what you think I should do, and I'm gonna listen to everybody's opinion. Now, anyway, with that being said, let's get to the subject in hand. Okay, so I got a chance to see Anderson Silva fight Tito Ortiz, and he slept Tito Ortiz. I was never a Tito Ortiz fan, but I was a fan of Anderson Silva. And Anderson Silva, a lot of times, he was really into boxing. I mean, he really practiced boxing, and he showed that he was solid at it. Anderson Silva, I think if he had left MMA about 10 years ago and really a professional boxing career, I think he could have made some noise at, I think at light heavyweight, or maybe super middleweight. I think he could have made some noise. Do I think he would have been a world champion? Well, the jury's still out on that. That's debatable. But do I think he would have been a solid boxer? Yeah. Now, after he slept Tito Ortiz, it wasn't him, but it was a lot of people online that was saying, okay, let's see, will Jake Paul fight him? Let's see, will Fake Paul get in the ring with him? And my thing is, probably not. If he does, then you like, I think after what happened to Fake Paul a few weeks ago, I think he's going to be real careful about who he gets in the ring with, because keep in mind, he almost got knocked through the ring. And a lot of people were impressed by what he did. Do I think Fake Paul would have took out Ortiz? Maybe. Probably. Would have, could have. But now the question remains, well, why not? At the end of the day, what's up? At the end of the day, if Fake Paul want to be considered a actual fighter, which I don't consider him an actual fighter, maybe you need to take on these type of fights. But Anderson Silva poses a real threat to him because one, he's actually a little bit bigger. I think Anderson Silva is like six. I know he's listed, I think, at maybe 6'1" or something, but he's probably 6'2", 6'3", 6'2" and a half, you know. And the question is, would Fake Paul take that fight? I think what he should do is, I think he should fight Logan and see how he does versus Logan. And then if he can fight Logan and beat Logan, then he fights Jake. Jake would be, I guess, what you consider the money fight. But the thing is about Jake Paul, I wonder, is he's really doing the numbers that he's saying he's doing? Because they haven't officially released the real numbers. They haven't officially released the real numbers of what he really did on pay-per-view versus, you know, Tyron Woodley. It hasn't really, they said that it did this amount of, you know, they said it did this max amount of pay-per-views. But Showtime has never really officially released the numbers. Just like Triller never released the numbers that Fake Paul did versus Ben Askren. I think it did probably okay by you know, the circumstances who was fighting, but a million pay-per-views, that's kind of stretching it. Now I know somebody gonna come on here and say, why you hating eventually and all that stuff. Like I said, that word is just used far too much. I'm tired of people acting like you can't voice an opinion and it come to you hating and all this type of stuff. Because at the end of the day, you have a right to voice your opinion. You have a right not to like something, semi-like it very much. You know what I'm saying? Or totally just trash it. A hater is somebody who show pattern of whoever the person is, they always got something negative to say. Now, Julio Cesar Chavez, he's a hater because he always has something negative to say about Floyd Mayweather. See, that's a pattern. Because you say, well, you know what, Jake Paul, all I'm asking him to do is fight real actual fighters. And stop acting like you the face of boxing, and stop making it look like you fight monsters and you going after the most feared fighters when clearly that you're not. And that's the problem. If he would just say, hey, I'm, you know, learning this as I go along, I'm taking it step by step, I promise to get better, and then eventually I'm gonna start going after the best guys out there, then I think people would respect you. But when you constantly make it look like you beating world beaters when you didn't fought a basketball player, a past this prime MMA fighter, well, two past their prime MMA fighters, where one just came in there and lied down, and then another one who, with his lack of boxing ability, almost knocked you through the ring. I think if he did that and showed more respect for the game of boxing, and instead of trying to make it look like he up there with Crawford and Errol Spence and even guys like Canelo, I think maybe, you know, more people would respect him. And if he started saying, well, you know what, I'm a boxer, but I wouldn't exactly call myself a professional boxer, I'm more of a celebrity boxer, and then I think more people would gravitate to him and say, okay, he's basically said where he stands on this. So that's where I think where a lot of the disapproval and the resentment come towards him, because he presents himself like he out there fighting, you know, anybody that could be fought, and he's saying, hey, give me the best guys out there, and that's absolutely false. But Anderson Silva versus Fake Paul interests me a lot. Now, if they actually make this fight, now we haven't heard from Fake Paul yet, but I'm sure eventually he'll say something. My thing is, if he's really serious, he should consider making that fight. I think that's a fight where both of them could, depending on where they have this fight at. I think if they put a solid undercard together, I think they put a good marketing machine behind this. Who knows? I would be interested in that fight. I would be interested in that fight. Because Anderson Silva does have a boxing background, and Anderson Silva beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a former WBC champion. That victory right there puts him ahead of Fake Paul. And to me, if you want to be technical, I think that you can make an argument Anderson Silva should get more of the money because he beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., former champion, who fought on pay-per-view and did X amount of pay-per-views. They never once again released the real numbers, what he did versus Canelo. So at the end of the day, it's a fight, like I said, that I have vested interest in, and I would be interested in watching that fight because this would be a fight that you would have to make Fake Paul the underdog, and he should be the underdog in that fight. And then if he was to go win that fight, that would legitimize him a little bit more. But the thing is, would Fake Paul take a fight like that? Because I think he gonna look for another soft touch. Because he know if he get in there with Anderson Silva, there's a chance that he might get knocked out or he might get his ass beat. So it's a risk for him. Because I think that Tyrone Woodley fight gave him something to think about. I think he didn't think Woodley would last the whole 8 rounds. And I don't think that he would almost get knocked out. So, I'm just keeping it a buck. Just wanted to voice my opinion on that. Anyway, this is your boy Town Biz. I'll be back with more in a little bit later. I'm out.